Changing sense of humour on tightly focused observation of our daily failings and pitiful strivings for perfection. Somehow she's there when you try to bluff your way through the checkout for 9 items or less with 8 avocados and 2 bottles of Chardonnay. She's the conscience of a nation. She never misses a thing and she makes sense of it all. It's Victoria Wood. So, is it fair to say, start with, is Britain bad at sport? And if it is, why is it so bad at sport?
We can't be fagged, really, can we? I think that's the problem. You see people running, you think, oh, no. I think we don't play to our strengths, really. I think what we're good at in this country is gawping at traffic accidents. Showing other people our shopping. Listen, can I show you that cardigan I've got, Jack? Yes, all right then. And I tell you what, you know when you go to a foreign beach and they're all playing volleyball and they're leaping around and surfing? If you go to a British beach, they're sitting on deck chairs with their legs apart, showing their knickers. That's what British people are good at. And if we had an Olympic sport of sitting in a deck chair with your legs apart, showing your knickers, then we would win. No, we wouldn't win. We'd come third. Because the Germans and the Americans would get very good at sitting in deck chairs with their legs apart showing their knickers, and all the British people would be off with injuries for about 6 months. And say, oh, I tried to show my knickers, but I don't know, it just wasn't working for me.
Well, they say it all starts in school, or in Britain's case, it doesn't start at school. Did you enjoy sport at school?
I know, at secondary school, it was hopeless. We used to do gym, and they'd say, like, get up the rope. Couldn't get up the rope. We sat on the knot for 45 minutes. And what I couldn't bear was having breasts. I couldn't bear having breasts, and so I thought, oh God, they're still there. And everybody would try and do gym. There's no sport you can do that has this position, really. Cossack dancing, possibly. And we were all ugly. We all got picked last. It was a nightmare trying to pick a team. No, you go. I'll have the one with the caliper. You have the one with the impetigo. It was puberty, really. We were right till puberty, and then we used to have these terrible health lessons, and the teacher would say, I'm going to talk to you about puberty. He said, what? He said, now, some of you may have had your area. I said, what? I said, no. I said, don't worry about this. We're not worried about that. We think we're going deaf. That's what we're worried about. And then what I used to have then, just because I'm quite old, and we used to have these huge sanitary towels. I mean, like, not now. You know, they're like little gas bills now, aren't they? Little tiny little things. Aren't they? They're weenie. They've got, like, you know, pages on and... Oh, the Wimbledon results are coming through. And, saying, oh, yeah, huge, great. They weren't there like breeze blocks. Do you remember? Huge things. You knew if anybody had a period because they'd have a hod with, like, a load of breeze blocks.
But what about now, the Children's Sports Day?
Oh, I've done 2. I've run in 2 mothers' races. It's terrible where I live. They're so competitive. We had three drugs enquiries. We had 4 mothers fell at the first fence. It was like Beecher's Brook. They're all down like this. One person went round in a Renault Espace. I said, that's cheating. Some of them get their au pairs to run because they're too old to run. Go on, Chantal!
But you're a bit of a fitness fanatic nowadays, if I can be so...
Well, I used to do. I've done lots of things. I used to have a thing that dangled off the doorknob that I used to do something with. And I think it was supposed to work your abs or something. I never found out because somebody opened the door and I got concussion, so I've done lots of things. I've done aqua aerobics, you know, where you work out with weights in the water. That's all right, as long as you're in the shallow end. And, because it removes any aerobic benefit, drowning. And I did step. When step first came in, about 10 years ago, I did basic step and step it up and step and sweat, step and smoke. I used to enjoy that. There's step for the over 60s now, escalator.
But you're a much more careful eater now.
Well, I've sort of given up. You see, I was brought up by 2 people who just ate sugar, and that was the only way they could stop from killing each other, was to eat sugar constantly, because they didn't smoke or drink. So my mother would have, like, wine gums and a knitting pattern on the settee, and my father had a tray of Thornton's toffee under his car seat, and he ate all the time. That was the only way he stopped from throttling my mother. He was always, when he was driving, so I can't think of anything to eat now. So when I'm working now, I go in the kitchen and I stare in, and all I eat now, I eat kosher sausages, which come in packets of 8. So I have 2 really good days, I have 3 each, and I have a really bad day, I only get 2. And I sit on my roof in a deck chair next to the satellite dish because it's out of the wind. I'm not joking, this is what I do. And I sit and have my sausages.
Since we last met, you've received the OBE, so how do I address you?
I don't know, I'm trying to sort of forget about it. You know, I get letters and it says Victoria Wood-Obie. I think, who's Wood-Obie? I don't know. I enjoyed getting it, but I'd sort of, you know, I just want to forget I got it.
You meet the Queen?
No, I didn't meet the Queen. I met, who's the other one? Prince Charles. I met, to think about. Yeah, little. They're all very, very tiny. You have to bend down to talk to them. Yeah. But it's like going to Disneyland. You just queue and queue and queue for an OBE. And every time you get around the Queen, you think, oh no, there's another queue. It's very clever the way they do it. And eventually he's there, and he has there's a little man talking in his ear. And they all come up, you know, all the milkmen and lollipop ladies. And somebody's in his ear going, it's a lollipop lady, lollipop lady, ha ha. It's a milkman, that's the stuff that comes in bottles, And they obviously said, you know, this is Victoria Wood, she does bugger all, really. And he said, oh, right, it's jokes day. Well, what does he know about jokes? You know, to him, a joke is something Spike Milligan wrote in 1947. So he couldn't, so this horrible silence. So all I could think of to do was keep curtsying, because as they said, you must curtsy. So I just curtsy, like Tom and Jerry. And then he shoves his hand out, and that means go.
That means it's over, doesn't it?
Go, there's another lollipop lady coming up now, and you have to go.
Victoria, you've been at the top of this profession for 26 years. What was it like when you were starting off? Any days of pain back there?
It was really exciting, you know. When I first started, because I've been on the dole, and I used to get £13 a week on the dole. And then I did television, and when you did television, I did That's Life, probably in this studio, and that was 30 quid. And so that was a huge jump up. And I bought a minivan, because you didn't pay VAT if it was a van, and you couldn't get the doors open, you had to get in and out through the back. And the radiator was cracked, and somebody said to me, if you put egg white in the radiator, it stops it boiling over. Well, it doesn't, you just get scrambled eggs. And Nina Mishkov told me, the windscreen wiper's packed up, and Nina Mishkov said to me, if you put a cut potato over the windscreen, you don't need windscreen wipers. Well, that's just a lie, you know. She's trying to ruin my career. I don't know what she meant. You just get wet potato starch. So I used to drive to these villages where I'd been booked, you know, it said Victoria would direct from That's Life, and I'd get there, and it was this grey village, no posters, nobody there. And I met, the first time I did this, woman said to me, I'm doing the refreshments. And I said, oh, are you? And I was getting really excited, and she said, I might as well invite them to my kitchen, there's only 5 of them. And he used to, you know, we'd end up pushing our mini back into Morecambe, thinking, you know,
but
it's show business.
You certainly met the people, which really counts in the long run, doesn't it?
Well, I met 5 of them, yeah.
And you did an awful lot of TV watching, and you knew more about it than I did. I was a professional TV critic, but you knew more. You watched everything. Do you still watch a lot?
I don't now. I've sort of given up. I mean, since it's gone all sort of vets and houses and gardens and mortuaries and dead bodies and John Thaw and David Jason, I think, oh, I can't be bothered with it anymore. You know, they used to say about a programme, if it was really boring, it was like watching paint dry. Now that is a programme, isn't it, watching paint dry?
As always, it's been an education and a pleasure. Thank you very much, Victoria Wood. Viewers have written in by the thousand, their letters often tear-stained with regret, wanting to see more of those American post-war teenage instructors.